guys, I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to join. I apologize for my tardiness. It's been a very chaotic day. A lot of ripping and running today, but I think this is backwards, so I don't know if y'all can read it, so I'll wait till someone to join to see if it's actually showing backwards, or if I need to flip it. So I'll give everybody a few minutes. Ooh. Playing around with some filters. Okay. Okay guys, so I probably won't take up your whole 30 minutes today, but thank you for joining me. This is Salon Talk at 1 p.m. with Stylist 1, myself, and we're here at Salon 1.5, which is my hair salon, and today we're going to talk about hair care basics. So hopefully you all will be able to see some of my points. So the hair itself, each strand of hair has three parts. It has the follicle, which is what we cannot see, which is under the surface. We have the shaft, which is what is visible to us above the we have the follicle and the shaft. And the parts of the hair strand itself is the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. I know this is all very textbooky, but hopefully I can present it in a way that you all will understand. Okay. So our cortex, or the center of our hair strand, contains keratin bundles, which is what helps the strength of the hair. Okay, so hair texture. A lot of people talk about hair texture. What is my hair texture? So let's talk a little bit about that. So we have three aspects of hair texture. We have your curl pattern, which we kind of touched on a little bit last week. The volume of the hair, which is how much or how many hairs you have on your head, and the consistency of that. So volume, again, how thick your hair is. So if you were to put your hair back in a ponytail, to determine if it was thin, normal, or thick, and there's actually based on centimeters. And then consistency is how big each strand is, whether it's thin, medium, or coarse. Of course, thin hair, some people may say your hair is fine. Medium, and then coarse. Your coarse hair is also your most porous hair, which means it can easily absorb moisture or anything that is actually placed on it. If it's porous, it's also probably going to dry out fast as well, because your pores are open, or your hair shaft is open. And here is the chart. Don't know if you all can see it very well from here, but this is a curl pattern chart. One is straight 2A is a little bit of a wave. So probably, see if I can find one. Probably this hair right here would be considered a 2A. So it doesn't really have much of a curl in it at all. It's just a little wave here. And then we have our 2B and our 2C, which would be something more like this between our 2B and our 2C. Okay. And our 3A, we kind of talked a little bit about 3A last week. So this is probably, if you have this hair texture or this consistency, will be more of a 3A. This really isn't a curl, but it's more of a deep wave. So between 2C and a 3A. And then we have the 3B, the 3C, the 4A, and the 4B, which we talked about on last week, and saying most African Americans fall anywhere in between the 3B and the 4B. If they, let's see. So next, hair porosity, which is the ability of the hair to absorb. We kind of hit on that a little bit earlier. So how you can tell if your hair is super porous or not porous at all is to fill up some water, which we have done here. Okay, we filled up some water, and I've put 2 strands of hair in here, and I know you probably can't see it because of the reflection of the water, but one of the hairs that I put in was actually a piece of this hair here, and it's actually still floating on top of the water. So this hair that we tested, it doesn't sink, and it's low, it has low porosity. With low porosity hair, again, that means it's going to be harder to absorb anything. So if I tested one of my clients' hair, or if you test your hair and you have low porosity, meaning it is floating on top of the water, then what that means is anything that you put on your hair, just put on it, it's just gonna sit on the top of it. It's not gonna absorb anything. So if you're putting conditioner on it, if you're when you put water on it, it takes a long time for that water to be able to soak into your hair. You have low porosity hair. Also, if I were to color this hair, or any hair that has low porosity, I would need to use a higher volume to be able to penetrate each strand, to be able to lift this color up. Okay, so this is normal. Normal is pretty much anywhere in between the high and the low point. And then I also put in a strand of hair, just a strand that was laying around, and it sunk down to the bottom, which is a high porosity hair. With this, we have to be careful because it absorbs, it overly absorbs. So if you wet your hair and it automatically gets wet the second you drop water on it, 9 times out of 10, you have high porosity hair. You have to be careful with this because it's going to take in a lot. And I'm going to show you an example of what high porosity hair looks like as far as the shaft. It also won't take long. So if you're putting hair color on your hair, it's going to change like that. It's not going to take long to change or long to penetrate because of this. Your cuticles on your hair shaft is super open. So this one, I know if you can see it, this is a picture of an acorn, but it's also a very good example of your hair shaft. So if it is, you have a high porosity, what we were saying, your hair shaft is open. The cuticles are actually open on your hair shaft. So it will take in, but it's also going to come out super easily too. Okay? So anything that you put on is going to come out. After you dry your hair with the towel, it's probably going to dry just like that. It's going to be really quick to dry. We want something along the medium because it will take in, but it's also not going to let things out as easily. Your cuticles are slightly lifted, slightly open on your shaft. And again, we have low porosity, which your cuticles on your hair shaft is pretty much closed. So it's going to take a lot to open them up. Hot water will open it up. And then again, if you're coloring, a high volume to be able to open that up. Okay. So not sure if you can see this either. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer. Okay. So on this side is an example of damaged hair with the cuticles are raised. Not only are they raised, but they're actually torn. They're stripped along the way, which is high in porosity. And then this is what a normal hair shaft looks like. Slightly open, but slightly closed. So just raised just a tiny bit. And this is also at a microscopic level. Okay, so you won't be able to see this with your naked eye, of course. Okay, so some things you need to know about porosity. Your older hair is going to be more porous than a newer hair, meaning your hair on the ends is older because it's been grown out longer versus this hair towards the roots. Okay, hair with low porosity doesn't absorb moisture as much as porous hair and is resistant to chemical treatments, which is what I was saying earlier. High porosity hair absorbs more water, but when wet, but it loses more even as it dries. So that's what I was saying. If you have a high porosity hair, it's going to get super wet, but it's also going to dry super fast because it's not maintaining, it's not holding anything in there. Okay. To check if your hair is porous, you can do a test after you shampoo and dry your hair. Just take one strand of your hair and just rub up one strand. If you feel bumps or if it feels uneven, it's probably pretty porous. Okay. Another characteristic of porous hair is that it wets easily when you prepare to shampoo it. That's something I spoke on already. Okay, so low pH products and styling treatments will reduce the hair's porosity. I was going to try to get into pH balance and pH levels, but I think that may be a little bit much. So if you are concerned about the pH of your hair, that is something that you can speak to your stylist about to make sure that your hair is pH balanced, and make sure that the products that your cosmetologist is using is actually a good balance for your hair. Okay. So in wrapping it up, let's talk about recommendations in order to keep your hair healthy. You want to make sure that you're shampooing on a regular basis. For African Americans, that can be every 2 weeks. And when you are shampooing your hair, you want to make sure that you are not using your nails because you don't want to break your hair at your scalp. You just want to make sure you're just kind of really using your the palms of your fingers to actually massage your scalp. That will stimulate your hair growth. You want to make sure that you're avoiding any hair products, especially your shampoos and conditioners, that actually have alcohol as the first 3 ingredients, because what that's doing is just stripping your hair of any natural oils or any of the naturalness out of it. It makes it very dry. Okay, so for Caucasian or white Americans, some shampoo daily, some shampoo weekly. It all depends on how fast their oil. If their hair is really oily, they may need to shampoo daily or weekly. So it kind of varies with them. You want to definitely make sure that you keep your hair moisturized. Dry hair will break faster than anything else. Okay. The drier your hair is, the more careful you have to be with it. You want to make sure that you keep your ends trimmed. I cannot stress that enough. It is nothing wrong with getting your hair trimmed. I know as African Americans, we are just deathly afraid to let go of our hair. Well, let me give you a tip. If you keep it trimmed on a regular basis, you won't have to worry about losing what the new hair that you're bringing in. I'm not saying go to a Susie Happy stylist. By all means, that is not what I'm saying. But if you get your ends trimmed like you're supposed to, then your hair will grow and you will have length retention. Okay? So my recommendation for ends trim, if you're natural and you're not using heat on your hair every day or every week to get a blowout or anything like that, then twice a year, maybe 3 times a year is good. That's it if you're natural. By natural, I mean no chemicals, no relaxer. So if you are, if you don't have a relaxer but you have color, you're not natural. You're just relaxer free. Okay? Because color can also damage your hair, and you may need to get your ends trimmed more regularly if you have color treated hair. If you are relaxed, I would suggest anywhere between 10 weeks to 3 months. So if you are relaxed and you're going to the stylist on a regular basis, I'm sure that your stylist is taking care of you, and will let you know when it is time for you to get your ends trimmed. And again, these are only estimate, because what you do on a regular basis with your hair will also determine how often you will need to get your ends trimmed. If you're putting heat in your hair daily, if you're curling your hair on a regular basis, if you're getting your hair relaxed off more than every 6 weeks, if you're staying out in the sun too long. So all of those things that I just listed will have an impact on how often you need to keep your ends trimmed. If you're getting your hair braided on a regular basis, if you're letting it out, if you don't detangle properly. So all of those things have potential to break your ends if you're not, or weaken your hair strand if you're not keeping or having maintenance of your hair. Okay, so the next thing is, if you have weak hair, if your hair is constantly breaking every time you comb it, you having gobs of hair come out of your hair, you want to make sure that you are getting a protein treatment. Protein treatments you can get once a month. I wouldn't suggest getting a protein treatment any more often than once a month, because all it's doing is just strengthening your hair. Or keratin treatment, which is kind of what our hair is made of. Okay, also, if your hair is dry, make sure that you're getting deep conditioning treatments. Okay? Again, your stylist can recommend how often and what product type will be best for your hair, but you want to make sure that you sit under the dryer. Your dryer is your friend, okay? Sitting under the dryer is your friend. I know we always want to get in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, just blow dry, blow dry, blow dry, blow dry, blow dry. Blow dry is not always the best option. It is fast, it's good if you're trying to get in and out, but you should not be trying to get in and out every time you sit down in your stylist chair. At some point, you need to stop. You need to make sure that you're getting your hair treated. Not only styled, but treated, okay? To be able to make sure that it's being maintained healthy, okay? Avoid daily heat. Okay, you should not be blow drying your hair every day or straightening your hair every day. If you're doing those things on a daily basis, more than 2 times per week, you're probably going to have more hair that needs to be trimmed off more frequently on the ends, because you're just burning off. Remember, this hair here on the ends is weaker than the hair that's freshly growing out of your scalp. So the more times you run that flat iron through, the more you're damaging your ends as well. So how can I serve you? Okay, so if you are in need of a stylist and you're looking for someone to not only be able to style your hair, but also educate you on maintaining your hair or getting your hair to where you want it to be, you can come in for a consultation. Consultations is free, at least for me. I have a slot online to where you can go in and just book a time just for a consultation, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. We can sit down, we can take a look at your hair, we can do porosity tests, we can do pH tests, we can talk about the concern areas that you have of your hair, where you would like for your hair to go, and we can also discuss a time frame that it will take in order to be able to get you to where you want to go and where you want your hair to be. Okay? If you have questions regarding your curl patterns, we can talk about it at that time. What's your curl pattern? What are some best hair products for me to recommend for you to be able to use? And any type of product recommendations. I will tell you now that if you are coming to me It is not going to be too many over-the-counter products that I'm going to recommend. Any products that I can recommend are going to be products that I myself have personally tried, that I have personally used, or if it's out of my area, one of the products that I know one of my salon friends or my salon peers actually use on a regular basis and actually get the results that the package says that it's supposed to have. Okay. So I thank you for joining me. Let's see what time it is. Okay, so I have 4 more minutes, so I don't want to hold you up. So I guess at this time I will go over 1 or 2 of the products that I have that I will recommend. Okay, so these are 2 of the products that I actually had used earlier this week that I showed you all when I was shampooing and conditioning an all natural patient. She did not have any relax on her hair. She also did not have any color on her hair. The first of those products is my volumizing detangling shampoo. I use this pretty much on my natural clients, my children, because it detangles. It's also for someone if you have thin hair. Let's see if I can go back. Okay, so if your hair strand is thin or medium and you want to be able to make it look more fuller, this is also a great product. So it detangles as you use it. Okay. And I said about the ingredients, the first ingredient is water. The second ingredient is a sulfate. The third ingredient is a sulfate. And the rest of these ingredients, the next 5 ingredients, are a form of oil. Okay? So linoleum, protein, keratin, fragrance. It has wheat oil in it. Jojoba seed oil. Okay, so those are all good natural products that are actually in here. That is not going to strip your hair, but it's going to cleanse the shaft, cleanse the hair shaft, and actually deposit or put in these oils to be able to make your hair more manageable. Okay, so that's volumizing detangling shampoo. And pretty much every client as well that has natural hair or relax free hair, I use this Moisture Plus leave-in conditioner. This is my best friend. So anybody who wants to know what my secret is for having no tears in my chair, nobody crying, is this. Okay, so if you have a child or yourself that's tender-headed and you want to be able to put a product on their hair and they will not be crying as you detangle the hair, this is the product that you want. Okay, so this the first ingredient is water. Then you have mineral oil, you have some collagen, some glycerol, and some linoleum, some jojoba seed oil. Okay, so again, another great product to make sure that it is not stripping your hair like some of the other competitors. So again, products of the week that I'm recommending is the volumizing detangling shampoo and the Moisture Plus leave-in. I also have these on my website at www.salon1half.com/shop. You can look on my Facebook page for a link to purchase. I have them available in the salon, so that if you do not want to pay the shipping costs, you can just click on pick up in store and you can just swing by the salon and pick you up some shampoo and conditioner. Okay, so the price of the detangling shampoo is $14.95 here, and the Moisture Plus is $16.95. So if those are some products that you're interested in, please, by all means, reach out. Let me know. I can have it shipped to you. I will also deliver to Rock Hill or South Charlotte. Okay. So I hope that you enjoyed the topic today. I really appreciate those who joined today. And if you missed it, I will be replaying it again tonight so that you can have any questions. I will have a watch party tonight. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it, please feel free to join us tonight, and I will post a time for that. So thank you guys very much. I hope these sessions are informative and you're learning. If you do have any questions, feel free to inbox me if you don't feel comfortable doing the live session. All right, thanks for joining Salon Talk at 1 with Stylist 1. See you all next week.